Hey, what's up followers? Dave here from CNC3D. In this video today, we're going to be taking a look at how you can create your own custom tool profiles within CNC3D Design Suite. So this video specifically relates to router-based jobs where you may have a cutter that isn't a standard type of cutter, and you may want to actually view how that tool profile will look when it goes through and virtualizes and theoretically runs your job. So let's just jump straight in, and we're going to go into new project here. And we're just going to make a new project. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can get into this menu, but you can go into router at the top here, and you can go into the router section here, and you can choose to automatically create a custom tool profile. So if you click on this, you'll see that it's placed this line in the center here. And basically what you want to do is draw half of the tool profile. But look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to kind of just show you. So this is basically the same as using the path tool. So I'm just going to left click and just drag this out to say here. Now keep in mind, you can hold shift if you want to snap to halfway between points, or control if you want to snap to angles. So say for example, you know, your cutter's kind of got this sort of profile. Now I'm going to do this a little bit differently here. I'm just going to try to kind of make this a bit of a kind of a custom thing here if I can. All right, let's bring that out there up to here. And then I'm just going to right click. Now I'm going to double click on the line here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these into curves. So there's two ways to do it. We can either click on each one of the points. So this is the same as when you guys are just creating a custom path, or you can double click and it will automatically make it a curve. So let's go ahead and just try to bring this out here, just to basically try to make a Bezier curve. I'm going to do the same thing on this one here. And I'm going to bring this out to there. So I just got to bring these in. Once you start actually making curves, you'll see how it works. But say, for example, this is pretty much how our tool profile actually looked. So if we were happy with that, we can basically say accept here. And then it tries to show you how the cutter actually looks. Now you can kind of ignore these dimensions here, but basically this is where you give it a name. So we can say, for example, it's our funky cutter. And you can give a quick description. So custom tool used for edging of our blanks. So say, for example, that's what you've specifically got this tool for. So we can now use this profile. And basically now what you can do is you can go into tool profiles and it will actually show you the cutter that's in there. Now you can choose to obviously export this if you want to. There's a few options down here, but now that we're in the tool library, they will show up in the tool profile section, and there'll be an entire list of them within here. Now, if you were to go ahead, and we're just going to do this, we're just going to make a new toolbox in here. We'll call it my custom tools. And I'm just going to leave the rest of the details blank, and let's create that toolbox. Now let's just create a new tool set. And we're going to call this our funky cutter collection. And we're going to create the tool set. And now we can basically make a new tool. So if you click on new tool, you can choose from all the conventional types of tools. And then you'll see that it also has our new funky cutter in there as well. So we're going to click on that, and we're just going to go create new tool. Now, there are two dimensions that you need to enter for this, and this is where they can actually vary. Now, we've left the actual cut length of C directly proportionate to whatever you specify the D to be, which would be the most common value. Now, if you wanted to, you can, of course, choose to overwrite or replace these tool profiles to get them a little bit closer to what you're looking for. But basically, at the moment, you can just dial it in here. So say it is a 6mm cutter, we can leave it as 6. We're just going to name it Funky Cutter 6mm and hit save. And then obviously there's your cutter that you can now choose for jobs. Now, if you wanted to, you could obviously choose to click on here again. We'll make a new tool and we can choose it again. And this time we can make it a 10mm one. And so we'll just hit, we'll call it Funky Cutter 10mm and hit save. And basically, now that should be good to go. So I'm now actually going to choose this cutter. So straight away, we can select one of these. So I'm going to choose the 10mm one here. And then now if we put down shapes on our canvas, we're just going to bring this into view here. Now I'm going to change this. So if we go into the toolpath tab, we're going to go and try to do an on-path cut with this particular profile and see how it's going to look. So at the moment, depth per pass is 1 mil. Let's make this 5 mil. Let's make it 5 mil total depth. And depth per pass, we can leave that as 1 mil. And we can go in and try to virtualize this now. And you can see that it's actually going to try to visualize and do our actual tool profile in here. So you get an idea of how it works. Now, if you go up the top here to options, you can also make sure that show tool model is ticked. And when you go to run this job, it will actually go through and so you can actually see, if I just go here and pause this, it's actually got your tool profile on there. So you can kind of see as it goes in and starts at this job, I can see Z is very, very slow. So we didn't actually dial in. I can see the Z is gradually plunging there. We didn't actually go through and set our, so if we go back to design view, so this is an important thing. We've done a theoretical thing here. So we can actually see that our feed rate, our step over, and our speed is very, very slow. So realistically, what we should be doing, say for example, increasing these a little bit. Let's go 3,000 millimeters per minute. Our current plunge rate at the moment, so we're just doing that there. So the plunge rate is set to 1. So let's do this at, say, 100 millimeters, or we'll do it at 400 millimeters per minute. And we've got our tool selected. So now if we go ahead and do our preview and we go through and try to run the job, we can see that our tool is heading over to where it's going to go and do this. And basically you'll see where it goes in and it's going to start running through that profile. And it's been set to do a few passes here. I think it may actually be set up to be in 1 mil passes for you. And that's basically how you can make your own custom tools in order to try to visualize them. Now, as I said, guys, it is really important to note that the only real purpose of doing this is just so your visualizer can try to accurately, or as accurately as it can, represent to you exactly what the tool is going to do. Is pretty much what it's trying to do for you. So when it comes to actually running the job, it's going to be whatever cutter you have in there in the first place. But at least this way you can actually make these tool profiles so you guys can maybe plan out your jobs a little bit easier. I can see this job's going to be finished very soon, heading back to 0. And that is basically the end of the job. So if you take a look, you can see that it's tried to follow your path. Now, depending on the sensitivity of your blocks based on the options in here, I like to keep things for me. Sorry, that's actually out of view for me. But there is a menu in there that you can go into. But basically, you can choose to set your resolution to be higher or lower. I like mine to be very responsive. I just want to get a rough visual idea of what's going on. I'll see if I can try to improve this a little bit again for you. Let's just go into cutting view. I'll change my resolution to ultra, and that's made things even smoother again. You can kind of really see where that tool profile goes down into the channel there, and it follows our actual profile. So look, guys, I hope this video has been helpful for you today in creating your own custom tools, and gives you a good way of being able to manage your tool libraries as well. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we'll catch up soon.